Sanjay Dighe, Chief Executive Officer, Krystal Integrated Services, with us on the show today. Mr. Dighe, very good morning, and thank you for speaking with us here at NDTV Profit. Great to have you on. Let's start with, what is your outlook for this financial year? How do you see it going, especially considering that most of your business is coming from government services? So let's start by understanding that for our viewers. What are the kind of contracts that you're doing for government-run companies, and which ones?
Well, thank you so much for getting me on this NDTV Profit show. Very happy to talk to you. Yes, we have a mix of, we are one of the top players in the country in the IFMS segment, and our revenue comes from government and corporate also. So while government has a 70%, corporate is also a very good mix of 30%. And in both these segments, we have an independent focus, and therefore we've been growing in both these segments in a very good way over the last couple of years. Our business in the government sector predominantly comes from where various government projects in the health, education, and the waste management sector, and also in public administration infra. And in the corporate space, of course, we are proud to say we are one of the most diverse. We have customers which are a very diverse set of customers, and these are the two areas which we get our businesses from. To give you just a quick insight into how our business is structured, our business is structured in four distinct verticals. Predominantly, the IFMS, Integrated Facility Management space. The second one, which is emerged as the second one in the last couple of years, is the staffing and payroll. Third one is our security man-guarding, and fourth one is our catering services. So our business is structured over these four services. Coming back to your question on the government, yes, there's a lot of infrastructure coming up in the country, and you also would know better because you track these segments. Our business is linked directly with the infrastructure, whether it is government or corporate. And in the infrastructure space, where there is administrative infrastructure like metros, new railway stations, we all know there is a huge activity happening in the railways. They are upgrading the railway stations. They are trying to give a railway passenger.
One minute, Mr. Dighe, if I can ask you. So when you say that the government is upgrading railway stations, for example, what does a Krystal come and do? What are the kind of services you provide? And what are sort of the margins for that service if government is your client?
Oh, that's a good question. We've been servicing the Madras railway station, which is the heritage property, for the last 6 years. So if you just visualize a railway station, cleaning up of platform, cleaning up of toilets, cleaning up of railway tracks, cleaning of the guest room areas, the passenger areas, cleaning up the areas where there are waiting rooms, ticketing counters. These are huge spaces, and it's a combination of man, machine, and material. A very ideal contract for an IFMS, where you are integrating all your facility management services. So it's a good contract for railway station, and of course, when they upgrade a railway station, they are increasing the infrastructure to accommodate more passengers. So there is more space to clean, there is more space to upkeep, and there is more requirement of machines, material, and people. Also, now you see there are escalators on the railway stations. The waiting rooms are air conditioned, so they need somebody to maintain all this infrastructure. So that is exactly which is a space that we are in. Having said that, that is not the only space. I just gave you railways as an example, but there are so many developments happening like this in the government sector as well.
So, and what would be, since you've given us the four verticals breakup, can you give us a picture of the margins in each of those verticals?
Sure. Our IFMS gives the margin in terms of ranking the number one. Second is our payroll and staffing services. Third is our security and man guarding services. And fourth is our catering services. Also, just to give you insight, there is a lot of MEP requirement which is coming up: mechanical, electrical, and plumbing in terms of maintenance. We have been doing this work for many years now, but we are looking forward to have this vertical as the fifth space in this financial year, because we are really moving on a technology based services, more engineering based services in the coming year. This is going to help us get better margins. This is going to get us better customers, And overall, currently there are these four segments with this kind of margins, but I'm expecting to get a fifth segment there also, which will give us a good margin.
Sanjay, hi. It's also Samina joining in, and I know when you listed one of the key factors you had stated that or objectives for that fundraising was to expand your presence in the airport space. You already have a bunch of railways that you're servicing, and I believe there are 2 airports that you're servicing as well. You want to give me a sense of where things stand between what was talked about in March and where we are today? Have you added more airports to the kitty? What is the sort of growth momentum we are expecting there? What sort of contribution to your top line can be anticipated from airports over the next couple of years?
Well, that's a good question, and it is very linked directly with our business plan also. Yes, when the privatization of airports happened and when MIAL was formed in a JV with AI, since day one we have been servicing the airports. So we have a huge experience of decades in servicing the airports. Again, to give you a sense, servicing in the sense of cleaning, maintenance, and very similar to the railway stations. So we have a great pre-qualification. Now, post the new scenario in the airports, there are a lot of services that are being newly induced in the airport management space, whether it is airside, landside, and the main terminal. We have a good qualifications there. We are under discussion with the private players and also with the AI, and very soon we should be able to have a good business there. Also, apart from the facilities management, there is a lot of support services also where the privatization is going to be happening. So we are watching that space, and we are already in discussions to get business in that space. So I think very soon we should be able to give you some news about.
That's a good point, Sanjay. But just very quickly, how much does airports contribute to your top line, and where do you plan to bring it to? And you said there are conversations underway. You want to give me a sense of when we can expect closure or any sort of announcement from Krystal about closure on these deals? Are there also better margins in the airport business?
Airport business is a very consistent business. It's sustainable business. It gives a healthy margins. And in terms of discussions, yes, we are already we are almost enrolled in 2 to 3 airports. There is a lot of activity there happening. And more than this, I will not be able to disclose because we are in the final stages. But very soon we should be able to get some good airports, because it is not only metro airports. There are the tier 1, tier 2 airports, and because we are into discussions, a couple of things are confidential. There is competition also here, and due to our pre-qualifications, we will be able to qualify in a much better way. So it's a little early for me to disclose this, but yes, very soon we should get our hands on a good airport business.
Mr. Dighe, good morning. So what's the share of airport share? Let's assume it's negligible currently. You may not give exact details, but let's say by the end of FY26, what is the contribution of airports? And part 2 of my question out there is, public versus private clients currently, what is the mix, and what would that mix be in FY26?
Well, so I will start with the last question first, but good question. This is for the viewers as well. Our contribution traditionally has been 70-30, 70 in the government space and 30 in the corporate space. But you would also know the government tenders are larger in nature. They are a 3-year pipeline plus 1-year renewable. So if you get one good government tender, then the quantum is very big. So therefore, it fluctuates between 75-25 and 70-30. But generally, to tell you, 70-30 is the zone, and we will continue in that zone because government businesses are also good business. New projects on a national level are good. We've been into government business since 2003 because 2000 is our year of inception. So the kind of pre-qualification we have built over the period of time, the service delivery team that we have and the management bandwidth that we have, it's really very, very good in the country. And the kind of work that is happening, the mindset for outsourcing is also very healthy in our country today. So we are expecting to keep the same 70-30 combination by end of FY25 also.
Okay, 70. So it stays at 70-30. Fair call. And sorry, you didn't mention about airports. What does airport contribute to, let's say in 2 years' time, very quickly?
He said airport is currently a very small part
But
of
what does it
our.
become in 2 years, Mr. Dighe?
In 2 years, it should contribute at least 5% of our
5%.
revenue.
Okay, fine. The other question that I have is there a formalized market share conversation that happens? I mean, where is it that you would be on the market share, organized versus unorganized? What is the scope?
Oh, a good question again. If you know this space, this is predominantly an unorganized space. Almost
Right.
80% of the market is unorganized. 20 is organized. Again, in this 20, it is bifurcated into multinationals like a JLL, CBRE, Knight Frank, which are essentially property management companies which come from with mandates abroad. Then there is a second range of players which are predominantly geographically located. Somebody is good in south, north, east, west, and some which are tilted on service-based offerings. Somebody is good at giving service to IT space, malls or something. And then there are I think we are, as per the FNS survey, we are among the top seven. So we are at the seventh. And but as per the survey, also we have the widest range of service offerings and the most diverse sectors. So we are very good poised at our seven number. We are very flexible. We have customers who've been us with the for the last 18 years. So in terms of market percentage of market share, specifically, I will not be able to tell you, but we are the seventh. We are the fastest growing because we have grown at a CAGR of 25% in the last 3 years and 29 in the last 8 years. So we are at the tops, even if you see the entire range. And also we are the most profit making because we have created our own benchmark thanks to the government and corporate mix. And we aspire to better the benchmark year after year. And I think it shows in our results.
Mr. Dighe, I had asked you about the margin contributions of your top 4 segments. I think you gave me the ranking. If I can get a sort of consolidated number, and what is your guidance in terms of what you see your margins in 25 and 26? Where are they going to grow from?
Yeah, I missed on the margin thing. As the number in chronology order, the margins are similar. IFMS always tends to give a better margin because these are bundled services. There is a lot of customization which happens here, and it's a combination of man, machine, material. So this kind of customization, tailor-made for the customer's requirement, tends to give a better margin. The second one is payroll and staffing services. That is the second anchor in our margin profile. And all the contracts that we are servicing here are also on management fee basis. So these are percentage of the overall payroll management that we do. So they give us a healthy margin. Third is definitely our security and man guarding, which is also one of our core products. And fourth is the catering. So
What's the overall number? What's the overall number?
In terms of market
Margins,
share,
margins.
margins are very difficult to say right now because I told you there are these bundled contracts and staffing services. So there are multiple contracts. So there is no margin profile I can give you individually. I can just give you a sense in terms of the order in terms the margins are.
Sanjay, what does your current order book across sectors and segments stand at? And also, I know when we raised funds, or when you of course listed, one of the objectives was also to reduce the debt on the books. What does the debt currently stand at, and any more fundraising plans lined up towards expansion over the course of the year?
Yeah, so sequentially, I will take that. We have closed the year at 1,026, 1,027 crores. And we have a strategy and plan in place to grow at 25 to 30% year on year. And we've done that in the past. As I told you, 22 to 23%. So 25 to 30 is a good zone that we are. We are very confident the way that our sales teams and organic growths are happening. So we will maintain that. So I think that is the answer to the first question, and that is the guidance there. The second thing is what was the second line? Second question that you asked me?
I was asking you, what is the debt on your books right now, and any fundraising plans that you've got lined up over the course of the year for expansion?
Yes, we raised 175 crores as a fresh issue. And one of the objects of the issue was to retire a 10 crore debt, which we have retired. So our debt has come by 10 crores. And in terms of acquisitions, we are very happy to inform you that post our listing and after the Q4 AN24 result, there are a lot of companies in tech space, engineering space who have innovative products which can be used in our services are approaching us. These are Indian companies and international companies also. So we are in very serious discussions with them. The idea is to evaluate what kind of product, what kind of technology we can associate to better our service delivery, and at the end of the day to better our margin. So and there is so much happening in the technology space and also in the engineering space.
Sure.
We are very seriously exploring that. If things there, we will be able to better our margin profile as well.
Got it. Mr. Dighe, one final question. There is a note which says that from a 50 odd crore profitability in FY24, you could nudge 100 crores of profits by FY26. You may not give the exact number, but is this too optimistic, or is this could be realistic as well?
This is a good balanced kind of a number that is there, because and there is a sense to it, because as I told you, our 70-30 profile which is there, we are expecting new projects in the government across the country, and we are very actively evaluating these government businesses. Also, the space which are there, which I told you, waste management, healthcare, education, and infra. This is our basic field of operation. They are doing very well. They have good budgets, and therefore, and the mindset of outsourcing is there, and we've seen that. Recently, we acquired the Thane Municipal Corporation contract for waste management. This is garbage pickup and disposal at the disposal. Now, this is just one municipal corporation. India has 28 states and 8 union territories. You can imagine the doors that have opened to us. So, this is just an example, but there is lots to do in this space. There is not going to be any dearth of work for the next 10 years, if you ask me. It is only your prudence that which contract you will get, what kind of customers you want to acquire. We are very mindful in this activity, and therefore that is the only way we can keep on continue growth, but also become a very sustainable and profitable organization.
Mr. Dighe, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for taking the time out. All the best for the quarters ahead. Really appreciate your time.